Good evening. Welcome to episode 182. As always, let's start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let all your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, completely relax your body. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you identified that, think about why you're thankful. Now let's say it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you're thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. Okay. So last week, we started to talk about the Four Noble Truths. You should know suffering. You should abandon origins. You should attain cessations. And you should practice the path. We discussed the first noble truth. We should know suffering. And then we discussed how by focusing on our inner peace, we can get rid of our suffering. Today, we're going to talk about the second noble truth, what we should abandon. It says we should abandon origins. What does that mean? It means that we should abandon where suffering origins. Because if we want to abandon suffering, if we no longer want to suffer, it is natural that we abandon where suffering originates from. And all of our suffering originates from delusions. You see, right now we have a strong attachment to the fulfillment of our own wishes. We really like things to go our way. But attachment is fundamentally a selfish mind. It's about what I can get, my wishes, my desire, my wants, my needs, me, me, me. Every delusion is about me and how important I am and my needs and wishes are. Me is front and center of every delusion, pervades every delusion and the sense of self. And the root of all delusions is ignorant self grasping. It pervades all other delusions. Our attachment, our hatred, our jealousy, our anger, all other delusions arise from our self grasping ignorance. Now, within that attachment is that state of mind that wants to be happy. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be happy. I want to be very clear about that. We always want to be happy. Even Buddhas want to be happy, right? They want us to be happy. But the difference is we want this happiness to come from outside. And that's the other element of thinking that happiness comes from outside. Not understanding that happiness comes from peaceful minds, virtuous minds, positive minds. Not understanding that happiness comes from love or compassion or wisdom, but thinking that happiness comes from donuts or pizzas or mountains or relationships or whatever it is, thinking that happiness comes from outside and working hard to try and get it. And then also thinking that happiness comes from the fulfillment of our wishes, everything going our way, everything we want to happen happens. Whereas happiness, actual happiness, the true happiness, is a pleasant feeling. It's just a mental feeling, right? You feel good. It's part of our mind. It's not something out there, right? And the causes of that are also within our mind. Real causes of happiness are within our mind, not outside of our mind. So if our mind is peaceful, then we are happy, regardless of what's going outside of us. And I've given this example of pizza so many times. First slice of pizza I eat, I'm in heaven, right? But if I continue eating that, by eighth or tenth slice, I'll throw up. So if pizza gave happiness, then I would not feel bad even at the 8th, 10th, 20th slice. So that proves to you that it's not pizza that makes you happy. So self-grasping, and the reason we have all this delusion is because we have a strong sense of self. We think me, we think I, we think self. Then we think that there is some kind of self within this body and mind controlling everything. I'm making everything happen, right? I'm so good. I did X, Y, and Z. I'm the one who has all desires. I'm the one who gets annoyed when someone does something or someone does not do something which I want them to do. I'm the one who does this, does that, goes there, me. So I want you to do this exercise. I want you to go back and look at your life. Do this when you have a spare half an hour during this week. Look at all of your suffering. And most of us remember when we had mental suffering in our lives, at least the major ones, and see the real cause of that suffering. Deep down, dig in, right? We can't be superficial. And if you really dig deep, you will realize that all of that suffering came from a strong sense of I, a desire to make ourselves happy, oftentimes above all cost and at anyone else's expense. You will also notice that the stronger the sense of I, the stronger the suffering. Our self grasping is like a monster that lives within us, and we must eliminate it. We must destroy it. because that is the source of all of our suffering. Let me tell you an interesting story. I think I may have said this a few years ago, but it's been a while. So I don't know, maybe about 8, 10 years ago, I was getting a massage. And my massage therapist asked me how my day was going. And I casually mentioned that I was dealing with some not so competent, I may have used the word idiots, uh, with some big corporation or something. And out of nowhere, she said, "Do you think you are smarter than everyone else?" And I say, "Yeah, most days I have the smartest person in the room syndrome." And what she said next was very profound. I was struck by it. She says, "The universe gives you what you want. You have a need to be the smartest person in the room. So it sends you people around you who are not so up to speed." And I thought that was a unique way to look at life. But in essence, it was supremacy that was bringing my frustration, right? In the book, How to Transform Your Life, Geshe Kelvin Gatso puts it wonderfully. And I quote, "The moment we let go of our obsessive concern of our own welfare, our mind naturally relaxes and becomes lighter." The moment we let go of our obsessive concern for our own welfare, our mind naturally relaxes and becomes lighter. So it's important we have to put on ourselves that is the root of most mental disturbance is self-grasping. Self-grasping ignorance also causes us to experience delusions. It's just a fancy way of saying that we grasp at the self and its inherent existence, right? And we talked about this before. We'll maybe talk about it some other day. Self-grasping is also known as separation. We have created this boundary around us, separating ourselves from other living beings. This is similar to thinking my cold is worse than your cold, right? Because it's happening to me. But if we erase the boundaries, the world will be a much better place. How so? Let's look at it. We strongly identify with the self and grasp it so tightly that we believe nothing is more important. And if my boundary only includes myself, then I focus on my happiness over everyone else's. If my boundary includes my family, then all of a sudden I'm willing to make little sacrifices for the greater good of my family, right? That's true for hopefully all of us. Problem is most people stop there. But if we begin to erase all boundaries between ourselves and our communities, we'll all try our best to make sure everyone in our community is better off. In other words, if we begin to identify little less with the self and start erasing boundaries around us to include more living beings, we'll begin to notice that our delusion decreases. Similarly, if we reduce our self cherishing, we'll reduce our delusions. I had a live meditation session, and someone asked, if we don't focus on our self cherishing, will there be any fun left in life? And the answer is that you can enjoy what life has to offer without chasing things. There is joy in helping others. There are people suffering from hunger, illness, poverty. Choose your cause, I don't care. But begin to make a difference. You will not only enjoy it, but also make your life more meaningful. And that's what life's about. Hope all this makes sense. in today's meditation, let's do something different. So once we settle down at our hearts, we'll contemplate how our self grasping is the root cause of all of our suffering. And then once we conclude that's the case, we'll single pointedly focus on the determination that I'll destroy my self chasing nature. Okay. Um, it's a little different than what we used to doing, but I think it's time we start introducing this concept of focusing on virtuous mind. Um, so again, it's not that complicated. We're going to contemplate how our self-grasping is root of all of our sufferings. What we'll do is we'll think about one or two sufferings if you think had recently, and then dig deeper into that. And you'll notice that if you didn't have this self-grasping me, you won't have suffered on that. And if you conclude that, then you just single pointedly focus that, I'll destroy my self-cherishing nature. So, hope all that makes sense. Let's begin our meditation. Please get into your meditation posture. Your back straight, spine upright, shoulders leveled. Gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open, so any stress you may have developed in your jaws will dissipate. Palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, let yourself completely loose like a rag doll. Bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention on your breath for about a minute or so on your own. Bring your attention at your heart. Imagine everything that happened before this moment melts into light and disappears. Things that have not yet happened are not real anyway. So it's just this moment. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, identify one instant of mental suffering you encountered in recent past. Instant which made you really unhappy, really stressed, really anxious, whatever the case may be. Once you identified that, look into that episode, that incident, and see where that suffering was really coming from. What was behind that suffering? See if your strong sense of I played any role. Dig deeper. If you can blame your self cherishing for that incident, keep digging deeper. Once you conclude that in that incident, your suffering was mostly due to your self cherishing, your strong sense of I, single pointedly focus and make a determination that I must destroy my self cherishing nature. Hold that determination as long as you can. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions, comments, discussion? Go ahead, Art.
Um, I think for me, I don't know if you've ever read any books on like inner child, like the most sensitive part of yourself. And I think, in relationships, when things don't go your way, it's this most inner part of you that feels rejected or hurt.
Yeah, but again, if you think about a rejection or hurt, right, the root of that is strong sense of I.
Yeah.
You said the perfect phrase, inner child, right? What does a
Hmm.
child want? A child wants everything go on in their way, right?
Yeah.
They want everything they desire, right?
Hmm.
They don't, they throw a tantrum, right?
Yeah.
So by definition, an inner child has a strong sense of I.
Yeah.
Right? When you feel hurt in a relationship, it doesn't go our way. That's because A, we had expectations, right? And we talked about this before. um, that if we don't have expectations, just let it play out, right? It's much smoother.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I think you know, even to identify with this most sensitive part of oneself is it's still self-grasping, wanting to make this part of you happy. This,
I think it's the biggest form of self-grasping, right?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you think, I mean, I was just thinking while we were meditating, same thing, something upset me a few months ago. And I was, yeah, because I wanted that thing to go a certain way rather than embracing the way it was,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, and I think we walk through life trying to protect this part of ourselves, and even this is,
Well,
self-grasping.
we walk through life trying to fix things,
Hmm.
right? We don't accept things as they are. Every stress you have is because you're trying to fix something. Now you may be able to fix it. It may give you temporary relief, but the process is stressful.
Yeah. Um, I know in our last class we talked about desire,
Mhm.
and I think desire is the same thing. We always want things to go our way,
Yeah.
and
I mean, where does
and I
desire
don't.
come from? Desire comes from this thinking that desire means you want to get something, right? I'm just trying to simplify. If I get X, it'll make me happy, right? That's the root of all our desire, right?
Mhm. But it's all
But
temporary.
it's all outside, right? The real happiness comes from within,
Hmm.
right? And moment we realize the real happiness comes from within, right? We stop chasing things, and that's what this is about. Be happy with, I think I said this so many different times. Oprah Winfrey used to say, right, that if you want what you already have, you'll always have enough. If you want what you don't have, you will never have enough. I think it's so profound.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to pitch in? Go ahead, Falguni.
I was just thinking about it that, how do you let go though?
That's the
Um,
challenge. That's the
I
$1 million question.
know
Well,
because
the first thing is the contentment, Falguni, right? The
hmm
absolutely first thing is that I'm happy with what I have. There's a famous phrase, I have everything that I need at this moment. The moment that sinks in, letting go becomes easy. Okay, that's first thing.
hmm hmm
Second thing is gratitude.
that
You
is
must be
absolute.
thankful for what you have.
Hmm
Okay, once you have gratitude, contentment comes easily.
hmm
Okay, because then you say, you know what? I mean, let's face it. Like my uncle used to say, and Art, I'm going to say something in different language here, okay? My kaka used to say, ભાઈ આપણી લાયકાત કરતા ભગવાને આપણને બહુ આપે છે.
સાચી વાત
And
છે.
that is so true. And Art, what I said is that, we get way more than what we deserve in life, right? And let's be thankful for that. The people who don't have food on the table,
Hmm
they have a roof on their head, right? What are we complaining about? What are we chasing? And who are we chasing for? That's the other thing, right? Give me one name who took anything with them when they died,
Which is very true.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The person who dies rich is the sorriest person on this world. I keep telling my kids, I'm going to die poor. I'm going to give away everything I got
Mm-hmm.
because that means your resources are useful to someone else. When you die and there's $1 million in your bank account, what good does it do to anybody? You think you're giving it to your kids don't need your money. They need your time,
That is very true.
right? So once you start thinking like that, letting go becomes easier. But you have
Mm-hmm.
to contemplate that, uh, who am I doing this for? When I retired almost 9 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
my dad, भाई ताजो बहुत पैसा थी क्या?
Mm-hmm.
I said, Dad, I'm just happy. I'm happy with what I have. All I need, my expenses are not that much. I'm content, right? And
Right.
that's what this is about. Being content with what you
Content.
have, right?
Yeah.
Because you have more than enough. I had this discussion with so many of our friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Whoa, you retired." I say, I can show you, you can retire today. You probably have a lot more money than I do. Okay. But you don't want to, right?
Right.
Because you want to chase more and more and more. Only it's like this. When one of my dearest friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a doctor in India. He has delivered 30,000 or 32,000 babies as a doctor. It's probably some kind of Guinness Book of World Record or something.
Wow.
And he's working 15-hour days, right? And I say, what are you doing it for? And one of my other friend, we three of us grew up together. He said, you know what? This guy, when he was in medical school, he told me that when he has 1 crore rupees, he's going to retire. The guy easily has 400 crore rupees. This guy is
Okay.
richer than God, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he works 15-hour days. For what? Right? For what? Explain that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do something good. I'm happy if you have money,
Mm-hmm.
only if you use it for a good cause. My dad used to tell me when I was growing up, say, ભાઈ કૂતરો પણ રોટલો તો લઈ આવે આમાં કઈ ધાડ નથી મારવાની, right?
Yeah.
Every dog gets his own bone, right? You
Mm-hmm.
made a living,
Mm-hmm.
big deal, right? Maybe you have, you know, more money than your friends, but so what, right? At the end of the day, we die alone. We die without taking anything from us. You know, Sapan,
Yep.
good friend of mine, his dad passed away maybe 3 years ago. I went to
Mm-hmm.
see him and he said something very interesting to me. He says, Nirabai, when my dad was born, he was 9.5 pounds. And when I picked up his ashes from the crematory, he was 9.5 pounds.
Really?
Think about that, right?
Wow.
What did you bring into this world and what are you
Oh,
going to
nothing.
take from this world,
Yeah.
right? And once you think like that, that's when it sinks in that, you know what? This is absolutely for nothing. There's a bigger purpose of my life than my bank account.
That's very true. I've been looking for that. I'm
Yeah.
seriously
No.
looking into that.
So have you read my book?
Yeah, I have been,
Yeah. So read it.
finding a purpose, for
There are
your.
some good chapters in there. Gratitude, um, um, contentment, right? We talk
Hmm.
about it all the time,
Yeah. No, I
right?
get it that gratitude and contentment is always there. It's just like, always finding a purpose, and I just don't know what is the purpose. Still don't know.
I'll
I mean,
tell
I
you
know.
I'll tell you what the purpose of life is. Purpose
Mhm.
of life, and you grew up, did you grow up in India?
Yeah, I did grow up in
Okay, so you
India.
grew up in India. So
Hmm.
you know purpose most people in India will tell you, okay, wait, purpose of life is moksha,
Yeah.
liberation,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
We go one step further here. We say purpose of life is enlightenment, which is the next step,
Hmm.
okay, to help other people. Moksha is just for yourself. This is to help other people. But regardless, even if you settle with moksha, I'm happy with it. But that's the purpose of life, that to not come back in this cycle of samsara. What does liberation mean? Not to take another
Comfortable
birth,
birth. Yeah.
right? Not to take another
Hmm.
rebirth,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
that's the purpose of life. How do you get there? This is how you get there, right? Otherwise, in creating, in going after our desires, maybe it's money for somebody, maybe it's fame for some politician, maybe whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
Going after our desire, we create so many negative karma that it will keep us in this cycle of samsara and won't let us get through liberation or enlightenment. We compromise our ethics to go after things we won't go after.
Hmm.
That creates negative karma. It may not ripen today, but it may ripen someday.
Oh yeah. I mean, good or bad, both
Good or
karma
bad,
will.
right? But the whole
Yep.
point is that it's unfortunately, right, for us, we done more bad than good. I mean, we may not realize that, we may not want to accept that,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But we had our fair share of negative karma in this life. And
Oh
this is
yeah.
just this life I'm talking about, right? We
Hmm.
taken life after life after life before this, and who knows what we did in previous lives,
Which is very true.
right? So the purpose is to get out of that cycle. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Parimal, you want to say something?
Yeah, that's
Go ahead,
when you're
Manisha.
saying, yeah, when you're saying that, it is very hard, to come out from this all, negativity. That's
We
I was
have to,
saying.
right? I mean,
Yeah, it's just
see,
like really difficult, like every time when I'm trying, but just going back again the same route.
which is okay, right? If see, this is two step forward, one step back process, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is not going to be a straight line,
Mm-hmm.
and we just have to accept that it's not a straight line. But the fact that we've done some good karma,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So that we are doing this, we are trying to make change. So there must be some good karmic activity we done in the past
Mm-hmm.
that is putting us on this path that yes, we want to make some changes in our lives. Yes, we want to try to get liberation, right?
Right.
And that's huge. That's more than 99.9% of the people, right?
Yep. Right. Yeah.
So we are, it's a good start. It's a very good start. Fact that we understand that, yeah, I want to make a change, that's a big step.
Yeah, last week I asked you that when I go to that route, you says you have to just step out little bit and then do the deep breathe, like.
Mhm.
So I tried like this week and it's helping me.
Good.
Yeah, that is helping me that whenever my mind going that route
Mhm.
and start thinking negativity or like, think about something that really hurt me, I just do like, okay, let
Yeah.
it go over with that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is helping me.
I sometimes when I'm walking, some negative thought will come up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll say it out loud because I'm walking by myself. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's stop that nonsense. Right?
Yeah.
So hopefully next couple of hours it will stay there. So all right,
Yeah.
guys. Hope all of that makes sense. We'll talk next week.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you so much.